love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong, you will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Fewer breaks after math, when I hate I attack.
Hello, lovelies. How are y'all doing tonight? I hope y'all had a wonderful Merry Christmas to your friends and family. And I hope y'all are enjoying yourselves. I know some people are still celebrating it, which that's all good and gravy, but it's so good to see everybody in here tonight. Thank you guys so much for being in here. Miss Kimmy, good to see you, sweetie. I hope you're doing well. My Maria G, love you. Good to see you, honey. I hope you got some rest. Hello, Summer Thunder. Good to see you, my sister. I love you. I love you too, Kimmy. Hello, Not Crazy. Good to see you, love. I hope you're doing good. Much love to you all. We got 8 people watching. Y'all hit the like, share, and subscribe if y'all haven't done so. Thank you guys so much for being in here. Well, that's good, Maria G. Did you get you a cup of joe or tea? Or tea? A cup of tea? Kimmy, I don't know if you're still in here or not, but I messaged you on Messenger, but it's the one with the fluffy chicken. I don't even know if you're on that one anymore. It's the first one that I came to. So I don't know. Drink my tea and have my oh yeah, okay, yeah. So you got double caffeine. I hope you're doing well, Miss Kimmy. I hope your ribs and everything's doing good, sweetie. So Maria G's wired. It's what, like 2:30 in the morning or 3:30 in the morning there? I think you're like 5 hours ahead of me, so I think it's like 3:30 or something like that. I don't know. All this time is crazy. All right, guys. Well, I was thinking, so why not start the end of the year, what we're kind of going to work on for the first of the year, if that makes sense. Tonight, we're going to talk about autism awareness and support. 3:37. Okay, it's 10:37 p.m. here, so you're exactly 5 hours ahead of me. 5 hours. Tonight, it's going to be the start of a very special night of many awareness and support lives, where we have people that come up on panel and talk about what they go through or what their friends or family go through. I just think I want to get you guys more involved. And, of course, I'm going to cover some, information, but I want to get you guys more involved. So if you don't have per se what we're talking about, you might know somebody that does. Or if you don't, or whatever, then we could bring awareness out to it and people, that don't understand it, because I don't know a whole lot about autism awareness. So the people that don't understand it will be able to be more, compassionate, which I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just saying they would be more understanding of what exactly it means if they don't know a whole lot about it. And, I've talked to several people, and asked them if they would come up. So I'm hoping they do. And, I just think it's gonna be great. We're not gonna be on here for a massive long time, but I definitely want to bring awareness and support to this cause. A lot of people have this in the world, and I'm not going to say just the U.S. in the whole world. A lot of people have this, and a lot of people don't understand it. So I think it's very important to for people to be able to understand things that they don't, they might know about it or have heard about it, but they don't really understand it, like what those people are going through on a daily, or what, their friends are going through, or they might have their friends or family might have something and they don't really know what it is. And it could possibly be, whatever topic we might be covering. Like for tonight, it could be autism. I mean, you don't know. You don't know. So I think it's going to be great. We're going to, like I said, we're going to bring more support and awareness topics out there. Of course, our karaoke is not going to change, but I just thought that would be, I want to get you guys more involved. I want to get you guys more involved. So I know I go on late and I apologize, but that's just the best time for me to, honestly, with the kids and stuff going back to school and all that. But okay, so let's get this. I only got a little, I got information, don't get me wrong, but here in a few minutes, I'm going to pull up the StreamYard link after I go over, excuse me, I got the hiccups, after I go over a little bit of information that I have, and then I will pull up the StreamYard link. So if anybody wants to come up, they're more than welcome. Please, I welcome you to come up. And, if you want to, if you have any information on it, or if you yourself have it, or you have family members or friends that have it, I would love to hear it, because that just brings more support and awareness out there and people to understand it better and more information about, whatever we're talking about. All right, guys. So let me get up the first, like I said, there's a lot of information out there. I just didn't really know which ones to pick. I was just going to pick a couple, because like I said, I don't know a whole lot about it. And I think it's going to be, oh my goodness, that's tiny. You need magnifying glass to see that. Lord have mercy. Hold on, guys. Let me fix it. It's a little itty bitty. Lord have mercy. That is tiny. Hold on just a minute. Bear with me, guys. Can y'all see that a little bit better? It's a little itty bitty. All right, this is National Autism Association from nationalautismassociation.org. Says, what is autism? Can y'all see that okay? Let me know if y'all can't. I will try to make it a little bit bigger. Can y'all see that okay? What is autism? Autism is a bio-neurological developmental disability that generally appears before the age of 3. Autism impacts the normal development of the brain in the areas of social interaction, communication skills, and cognitive function. Individuals with autism typically have difficulties in verbal and nonverbal communication, social interactions, and leisure or play activities. Individuals with autism often suffer from numerous comorbid medical conditions, which may include allergies, asthma, epilepsy, digestive disorders, persistent viral infections, feeding disorders, sensory integration dysfunction, which I don't know what it is, but maybe you guys do, sleeping disorders, and more. Autism is diagnosed 4 times more often in boys than girls. That's kind of interesting, but I don't know. Its prevalence is not affected by race, religion, and social economic status. Since autism was first diagnosed in the U.S., the incidence has climbed to an alarming 1 in 36 children in the U.S. Wow. Autism itself does not affect life expectancy. However, research has shown that the mortality risk among individuals with autism is twice as high as the general population, in large part due to drowning and other accidents. Currently, there's no cure for autism, though with early intervention and treatment, the diverse symptoms related to autism can be greatly improved and in some cases completely overcome. Okay. Yeah, Maria G, I'm sorry. Girls can mask better. Oh, okay. See, like I said, I don't know nothing about it. So this is new to me too. I think it's very interesting because like I've always told you guys, y'all don't know what people are going through. So you truly don't. It says autism facts and stats. Let me try to make this a little bigger. I don't know why it's so. Is that a little bit better, guys? There we go. Let me try to fix that. Hold on, wait a minute. Is that better? Autism facts and stats. Autism now affects 1 in 36 children. Boys are 4 times more likely to have autism than girls. About 40% of children with autism do not speak. About 25% to 30% of children with autism have some words at 12 to 18 months of age and then lose them. Others might speak, but not until later in childhood. Wow. Autism greatly varies from person to person. No two people with autism are alike. The rate of autism has steadily grown over the last 20 years. Comorbid conditions often associated with autism include Fragile X, allergies, asthma, epilepsy, bowel disease, gastrointestinal digestive disorders, persistent viral infection, pandas. I don't know what that is, but feeding disorders, anxiety disorders, bipolar disorders, ADHD, Tourette syndrome, OCD, sensory integration dysfunction, sleeping disorders, immune disorders, autoimmune disorders, and neuroinflammation. Autism is the fastest growing developmental disorder, yet most underfunded. Wow, that's so sad. In 2008, Danish study found that the mortality risk among those with autism was nearly twice that of general population. Children with autism do progress. Early intervention is key. Autism is treatable, not a hopeless condition. Oh, bless your heart, Maria G. She said, I have ADHD/autism. We love you, Maria D. I can't even talk. Maria G. I can't. Lord. All right, that's now, like I said, it's not I've just come across a little bit of information, so I'm just gonna cover what I have, and then I'm gonna throw up the StreamYard link, and y'all come on up here, and we're gonna chat about it. This one is understood.org. What is autism? Let me try to make it see every time I open one up, it gets smaller and smaller. Let me see if you guys can see it like that. At a glance, challenges with social interaction and communication are common. Autism can look different from person to person. Autism may co-occur with ADHD and sensory processing issues, kind of like what Maria just said. Let's see. Autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder that affects how people communicate and interact with others and the world around them. It's lifelong. You don't grow out of it. Autism often co-occurs with other conditions like ADHD and learning disabilities, kind of like what Maria G was saying. They share common challenges with social skills and communication, including trouble reading. Can y'all? I'm trying to. Maybe that might be better. Trouble reading nonverbal cues or picking up unwritten social rules, difficulty participating in conversation, not always being able to modulate, control how loud you speak or in what tone, taking language literally and not always understanding puns, riddles, or figures of speech. Another common sign is what's known as stereotype behavior. This may look like having a special interest around a certain topic or object, or it can refer to repetitive behaviors and movements like arm flapping or rocking, sometimes called stimming, repeating certain sounds or phrases, sometimes called echolalia. I don't know if I'm saying I don't know if I'm saying these right, guys. I'm trying. You'll bear with me. There's a lot of variation in how autism presents from person to person. Some people communicate by speaking, others use nonverbal communication. There's also a wide range of intellectual and self care abilities. An autism diagnosis reflects this by using support levels of 1, 2, or 3. These levels show how much support a person needs, with 3 as the highest level. And then Maria G said, we use visual aids for my youngest. Aw. People talk about autism in different ways. Doctors and schools often use the term autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, and person first language, a person with autism. Some people with the diagnosis prefer identity first language and may call themselves autistic. Rather than calling autism a disorder, some in the autism community embrace neurodiversity. This concept says conditions like autism and neurological variations that are simply part of the human difference. And these are just a little bit of facts. It says dive deeper. 3 myths about autism. Myth 1, people with autism don't feel empathy or emotions. In fact, they feel deep empathy and have strong feelings, but they may have a hard time showing it. Hello, Steve-O. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good Christmas. Myth 2, people with autism can't handle change. Predictable routines and structure help all people feel safe and comfortable. Change can cause anxiety. You may see perseveration or getting stuck when something unexpected happens. Myth 3, people with autism don't like to be touched. Autism and sensory processing issues commonly co-occur. Some avoid certain sensations and have a heightened sensitivity to touch and other senses, but others may seek out these sensations. How the diagnosis has changed. For many years, autism was an umbrella diagnosis that covered Asperger's syndrome, persuasive developmental disorder not otherwise specified, PDD/NOS, Rett syndrome, child disintegrative disorder, CDD, or Heller syndrome, and autistic disorder. This change in the 5th edition of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders and the DSM-5 Asperger's syndrome, PDD-NOS, and CDD are no longer listed as diagnosis. There is only one diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder. Rett syndrome is now listed as separate genetic disorder. Oh, your babies don't have a hard time with hugs and stuff. Oh, 2 of my children don't like being touched. Example, hugs, and my son has persuasive development disorder. Oh, bless them. Autism isn't a learning disability, but it can affect learning. Okay, this is for caregivers. For caregivers, what to do next? For many kids, trouble with language development is a first sign of autism. Other common signs include trouble with flexible thinking or the ability to think in new ways about a problem, motor planning challenges like riding a bike, catching a ball, or running, meltdowns. If you're concerned, talk with a healthcare provider. Like, I'm not a doctor, nothing like that. This is just support and awareness and information, guys. Share your concerns and what you're seeing. There are many ways to support kids diagnosed with autism. You can also learn more by reading about the experience of raising kids with autism, which we're not going to go over. But y'all are more than welcome to. Like I said, this is from www.understood.org. And in the search bar, you could probably, I think that's how I did it. Hold on, let me tell you guys. I don't want to tell you I'm wrong. Yeah, search bar right up here in the corner, and you can type in whatever you would like. Okay. Now this one is covered. I think this is some of the information that you sent me, Maria G, honey, or something to that effect. This is from bcc.co.uk. So, autism, what is it? Oh my gosh, it's so tiny again. Lord have mercy. I wish it would stay the way that I put it. Okay, there we go. All right, autism says on Friday 2 April it's World Autism Awareness Day. Huh. I didn't know that, but that's good to know. The aim of the day, which is organized by the United Nations, is to raise awareness of autism and highlight what can be done to improve the quality of life for autistic people. Here's everything you need to know about the condition. What is autism? Autism spectrum disorder, ASD, its medical name, is a name for a range of conditions which affect how people communicates and interacts with the world around them, as well as their interests and behavior. It's not a disease or an illness, but a condition that somebody is born with. People who are born with autism have it all their lives. Some people prefer to call it autism spectrum disorder or condition, ASC instead of ASD. You cannot tell that somebody is autistic by looking at them. And it's estimated that about 1 in every 100 people in the UK is autistic. I don't know if that's true or not, but I guess we'll find out. Hopefully, Maria G comes up here. With more boys than girls diagnosed with the condition, there are lots of theories about why this may be. No one knows why people are born with autism, but there's lots of research going on into what causes it. No, isn't he not cute? What is Asperger's syndrome? One form of autism is called Asperger's syndrome. Tyler's 11 years old and has Asperger's syndrome. Following the death of his grandma, Tyler suffered from depression and mental health problems. But with the help of counseling, he got better and has now written a book all about his condition, his life, and how he overcome his problems. Oh, that is amazing. And look how cute he is. Oh my goodness, bless his heart. He's adorable. Someone with Asperger's syndrome may find it hard to express themselves and how they feel. They may want to make friends and socialize with people just like everybody else, but they may find it very difficult. Look at him. Ain't he precious? And it says, I'll try to read this to you if I can. It says, to Anne, my name is Joseph and I can't read it all, but it says I live in Preston, Lancaster, and I go to a specialist school. I was diagnosed with autism when I was 5. I like to watch you on Chase and Now. I've been watching you in the jungle. I think you are very brave for going in the jungle. I couldn't go there because there are too many bugs. You are very clever. Sometimes people are mean to me because I am autistic, but watching you makes me see that other people can have autism too, and maybe I can have a cool job like you when I'm older. Do you like Thunderbirds? I love them. My favorite Thunderbird is Thunderbird too. I have drawn you a picture. I hope you like it. Good luck in the jungle. I hope you win. Love from Joseph. Is that not so sweet? That is such a sweet baby. Look at him. He's precious. He's just 11 years old. He's a little guy. He's a little guy. Generally, people with Asperger's syndrome don't have as many problems with talking, but they might still find it difficult to understand language, so they could struggle to understand how other people are thinking or feeling. They may have above average intelligence as they don't have the learning disabilities that many autistic people might have. However, they may have specific learning difficulties and could need additional support, just like anybody else who is autistic. How does autism affect people? Autism affects different people in different ways. This is why it might take some time for someone to be diagnosed, and there isn't one simple list of symptoms and signs to look out for. Anne revealed that she didn't actually get diagnosed until she was 45 back in 2003. It can affect the way someone communicates with people, so a person might seem more shut off from those around them because they struggle to interact with them. Thank you, Kimmy Honey, for putting that on there. I don't know, is that the iPhone link? That's the only thing I don't have is a stinking iPhone link. Because I was going to save it and then so that way if anybody needed it or something, they could use it or whatever. So I know a lot of people has asked me before, like emails and stuff like that, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how you get it. Autistic children might choose to play on their own rather than in groups, or they might be a lot quieter than everybody else. It can also have an impact on how a person makes sense of the world around them. Someone who is autistic might be oversensitive or undersensitive to sounds, touch, taste, smell, lights, or colors. They might wear special headphones to cancel out sounds so that the noise of the world around them isn't overwhelming. Okay, thank you, Markella. Hello, hippie grandma. Hello, Kenzie C. Good to see you, sweetheart. Okay, thank you so much, Kimmy, honey. I will copy that here in just a few minutes. I didn't know. Like I said, I don't have an iPhone, so I have no idea. I don't know. What, honey? Hold on a minute, guys. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry, the youngins are still up. Let's see where I'm at. People who are autistic can be really good at remembering things, so they might have a lot of knowledge about one particular subject. Good to see you, Markella and Hippie Grandma and Kenzie C. And let me see. I want to make sure that I said hi to everybody. Well, I'll stop for just a second. Oh my goodness, Kimmy, now you have laryngitis. Lord have mercy, sweetheart. I'm telling you, that ain't one thing, it's a darn another, ain't it? Shoo. All right, it says, what is it like living with autism? Because autism affects people differently. Some people don't need a lot of help, but others might need extra help or support throughout their life. For someone who is autistic, everyday life can be confusing and chaotic. Yes, I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. Their brain works differently, so just communicating with people can be really hard. Simple things like talking to other people and reading people's body language and expressions can be difficult. Some people will be able to speak while others may not be able to speak at all. Hey, Mama Bear, good to see you, sweetie. I hope you're doing well. I hope you all had a Merry Christmas. Some people, they might use sign language to help with this. An autistic person might seem like they're not interested in people and find it hard to make friends and to meet new people. They might find it hard to use their imagination or be creative, so made up games and in the playground might be quite difficult for someone with autism to take part in. Many autistic people find comfort in having a routine, so it is quite common for to want to repeat things. Doing the same things every day can help. For example, playing the same games or eating meals at the same time, or they may engage in repetitive behaviors like turning light switches on and off, opening and closing doors, or lining up objects. It can be frustrating not being able to communicate in the way that they might like, so this frustration might come out through their behavior. How can I help somebody who is autistic? And this is the support part, support one another. Number one, be understanding. While you might find it difficult if someone who is autistic doesn't want to talk to you or play with you, it's not their fault that they feel that way. They might even be frustrated about themselves. Be patient and remember the most important thing is not to take it personally. If you think someone is being rude or unfriendly to you, remember that they don't mean to be. If you're upset about anything, go speak to an adult that you trust about it. Number two, be accepting. The world can be a confusing place for autistic children and adults, and they may behave in a way that you think is a little strange. They might make noises or flap their hands, for example. Be kind and let them behave in a way that they are comfortable with. Don't stare or single someone out because they are behaving differently. Number three, don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions about what autistic people are like. It affects different people in different ways. For example, just because someone who is autistic might struggle to communicate, it doesn't mean they struggle to understand what is being said around them. Number four, ask. If you are at all unsure about anything, go speak to an adult that you trust. You can speak to them about ways You might be able to help your friend with autism to make sure that they are okay. And this is just other stories, guys. All right. And then I got two more, and they go kind of hand in hand with each other. And then I'm going to pull up the StreamYard link, and I'm going to go as quickly as possibly can with these. All right. This is from the Mayo Clinic. This is autism spectrum disorder, symptoms and causes. Overview, which some of this might say similar to the same thing that we just covered, but I thought it was very important information and useful information to cover and bring this to awareness to. Overview. Autism spectrum disorder is a condition related to the brain development that impacts how a person perceives and socializes with others, causing problems in social interaction and communication. The disorder also includes limited and repetitive behaviors. Yoda. Dog's crazy. Patterns of behavior. The term spectrum in autism spectrum disorder refers to a wide range of symptoms and severity. Autism spectrum disorder includes conditions that were previously considered separate. Autism, Asperger's syndrome, childhood disintegrative disorder, and an unspecified form of persuasive development disorder. Some people still use the term Asperger's syndrome, which is generally thought to be a mild end of the autism spectrum disorder. Autism spectrum disorder begins in early childhood and eventually causes problems functioning in society, socially, in school, and at work, for example. Often children show symptoms of autism within the first year. A small number of children appear to develop normally in the first year and then go through a period of regression between 18 and 24 months of age when they develop autism symptoms. While there is no cure for autism spectrum disorder, intensive early treatment can make a big difference in the lives of many children. Symptoms. Some children show signs of autism spectrum disorder in early infancy, such as reduced eye contact, lack of response to their name, or indifference to caregivers. Other children may develop normally for the first few months or years of life, but then suddenly become withdrawn or aggressive or lose language skills they've already acquired. Signs usually are seen by age 2 years. Each child with autism spectrum disorder is likely to have a unique pattern of behavior and level of severity, from low functioning to high functioning. Some children with autism spectrum disorder have difficulty learning, and some have signs of lower than normal intelligence. Other children with the disorder have normal to high intelligence. They learn quickly, yet have trouble communicating and applying what they know in everyday life and adjusting to social situations. Because of the unique mixture of symptoms in each child, severity can sometimes be difficult to determine. It's generally based on the level of impairments and how they impact the ability to function. Below are some common signs shown by people who have autism spectrum disorder. Social communication and interaction. A child or adult with autism spectrum disorder may have problems with social interaction and communication skills, including any of these signs. Fails to respond to his or her name, or appears not to hear you at times, resists cuddling and holding and seems to prefer playing alone, retreating in his or her own world, has poor eye contact and lacks facial expression, doesn't speak or has delayed speech, or loses previous ability to say words or sentences, can't start a conversation or keep one going, or only starts one to make requests or label items, speaks with an abnormal tone or rhythm, and may use a sing-song voice or a robot-like speech, repeats words or phrases verbatim, but doesn't understand how to use them, doesn't appear to understand simple questions or directions, doesn't express emotions or feelings, and appears unaware of other feelings, doesn't point out at or bring objects to share interest, inappropriately approaches a social interaction by being passive aggressive or disruptive, has difficulty recognizing nonverbal cues such as interpreting other people's facial expressions, body postures, and tone of voice. patterns of behavior. A child or an adult with autism spectrum disorder may have limited repetitive patterns of behavior, interests, or activities, including any of these signs. Performs repetitive movements such as rocking, spinning, or hand flapping. Performs activities that could cause self harm, such as biting or headbanging. Develops specific routines or rituals that become disturbed at the slightest change. Has problems with coordination or has odd movement patterns such as clumsiness or walking on toes, and has ODD, odd stiff, I'm sorry, on stiff or exaggerating body language. Is fascinated by the details of an object such as spinning wheels or a toy car, but doesn't understand the overall purpose or function of the object. It's unusually sensitive to light, sound, or touch, yet may be indifferent to pain or temperature. Doesn't engage in an imitative or make believe play, fixates on an object or activity with abnormal intensity or focus, has specific food preferences such as eating only a few foods or refusing foods with a certain texture. As they mature, some children with autism spectrum disorder become more engaged with others and show fewer disturbances in behavior. Some usually some usually those with the least severe problems eventually may lead normal or near normal lives. Others, however, continue to have difficulty with language or social skills, and the teen years can bring worse behavior and emotional problems. When to see a doctor. Babies develop at their own pace, and many don't follow exact timelines found in some parenting books. But children with autism spectrum disorder usually show signs of delayed development before age 2 years. If you're concerned about your child's development or you suspect that your child may have autism spectrum disorder, discuss discuss your concerns with your doctor. The symptoms associated with the disorder can be linked with other developmental mental disorders. Signs of autism disorder often appear early in development when there are obvious delays in language skills and social interactions. Your doctor may recommend developmental tests to identify if your child has delays in cognitive language and social skills. Hold on a minute, guys. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. Lord. Your doctor may recommend developmental tests to identify your child has delays in cognitive language and social skills. If your child doesn't respond with a smile or a happy expression by 6 months, doesn't mimic sounds or facial expressions by 9 months, doesn't babble or coo by 12 months, doesn't gesture such as point or wave by 14 months, doesn't say single words by 16 months, doesn't play make believe or pretend by 18 months, doesn't say two-word phrases by 24 months, loses language skills or social skills at any age. Causes. Autism spectrum disorder has no single cause. Given the complexity of the disorder and the fact that the symptoms and severity vary, there are probably many causes. Both genetics and environmental may play a role. Genetics. Several different genes appear to be involved in autism spectrum disorder. For some children, autism spectrum disorder can be associated with a genetic disorder such as Rett syndrome or Fragile X syndrome. For other children, genetic changes, mutations may increase the risk of autism spectrum disorder. So, other genes may affect brain development or the way the brain cells communicate, or they may determine the severity of symptoms. Some genetic mutations seem to be inherited, while others occur spontaneously. Environmental factors. Researchers are currently exploring whether factors such as viral infections, medications, or complications during pregnancy or air pollutions play a role in triggering autism spectrum disorder. Says no link between vaccines and autism spectrum disorder. One of the greatest controversies in autism spectrum disorder centers on whether a link exists between a disorder and childhood vaccines. Despite extensive research, no reliable study has shown a link between autism spectrum disorder and any vaccines. In fact, the original study that ignited the debate years ago has been retracted due to poor design and questionable research methods. Avoiding childhood vaccinations can only place your child and others in danger of catching and spreading serious diseases, including whooping cough, pertussis, measles, or mumps. Risk factors, and we're almost done, guys, with my information. The number of children diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder is rising. It's not clear whether this is due to better detection and reporting or a real increase of the number of cases, or both. Autism spectrum disorder affects children of all races and nationalities, but certain factors increase the child's risk. These may include your child's sex. Boys are about 4 times more likely to develop ASD than girls are. Family history. Families who have had one child with autism spectrum disorder have an increased risk of having another child with the disorder. It's also not common for parents or relatives of a child with autism spectrum disorder to have minor problems with social or communication skills themselves, or to engage in certain behaviors typical of the disorder. Other disorders. Children with certain medical conditions have a higher than normal risk of autism spectrum disorder or autism like symptoms. Examples include Fragile X syndrome, an inherited disorder that causes intellectual problems, tuberous sclerosis, a condition in which began tumors developed in the brain, and Rett syndrome, a genetic condition occurring almost exclusively in girls, which causes slowing of head growth, intellectual disability, and loss of purposeful hand use. Extremely preterm babies. Babies born before 26 weeks of gestation may have greater risk of autism spectrum disorder. Parents' ages. There may be connection between children born to older parents and autism spectrum disorder, but more research is necessary to establish this link. Complications. People with social interactions, communication, and behavior can lead to problems in school and with successful learning, employment problems, inability to live independently, social isolation, stress within the family, victimization, and being bullied. Prevention. There's no way to prevent autism spectrum disorder, but there are treatment options. Early diagnosis and intervention is most helpful and can improve behavior, skills, and language development. However, intervention is helpful at any age. Though children usually don't outgrow autism spectrum disorder symptoms, they may learn to function well. Kinsey said, "We think my son has autism. He can't get officially tested till he's 6, but a lot of what you're reading sounds like him." Aw, prayers, honey. And I'm not gonna go over this one, but I am going, because says diagnosis and treatment, Kinsey. So if you want to click on this, I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna go over it because I've been talking for a while, and that way it gives people a chance to come up here. But I will copy the link and put it in the chat, because this is your diagnosis, like, if you wanted, so you can kind of know a little bit, for anybody. I was just saying for her, because where she was talking about her son. Anybody is more than welcome to click on this link and read all they want to. And what I just covered is also on the same thing. There you go, Kenzie. That is the diagnosis and treatment if you need. And but you can always go. You can type it in, and then that's symptoms, causes, diagnosis, treatment, doctors, departments. Like, it's got everything. And this is from the Mayo Clinic, so it's really trusted. A really trusted source, honey. All right, so let me grab my StreamYard link, and hopefully some people will come up and bring a little bit more awareness to this. It just helps you to learn a little bit more, you know. Hold on just a second, guys. Dang it. Not love you. So you got mad over nothing.
Night, guys.
Okay, there it goes. The message, the link is pinned. If anybody wants to come up, more than welcome. Please do so. Let me grab that link again. Hello, my darling. How are you?
Hi.
So
I'm
you
up.
probably have. Did you finally? Did you get awake? Or are you still half asleep?
No, I slept from about 8 p.m. to 3 a.m.
8, 9,
So
10, 11,
I
12.
got a bit, got enough.
Yeah, I just want to make sure you was well rested.
I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it by my normal time of going to sleep.
Yeah, that's why I was like, girl, let me know when your babies are on break.
But no, that's fine. It's all good.
Well, I just, I worry about everybody. So I'm like, please make sure you get enough rest, please.
Oh, I'd be a nightmare if I didn't. I really
You'd
would.
be on here with horns.
In the morning, my daughter says, I don't speak to you until you've had your cup of tea. And I just wake up slowly and then I'm fine.
It's like, give me my tea and my Red Bull.
I've
And I'll
had
be
my
good.
tea and yes, got my Red Bull.
Bless your heart. Okay, honey. I know you've been patiently waiting. So is any, because I know that I have autism, and I know you have family members that do it. Now, the information
Yeah,
that I covered, is it true, or what do you think about the information I covered, knowing that you have it
yeah.
yourself? You know,
It's true with boys do get diagnosed more, but it is basically us girls, we can mask very well. We can mimic. Most of me is how I've watched how other people are, how they talk, you know, and I learned that way myself
right,
because I would never know if everyone's having a conversation. I find it very hard to know if it's my turn or
right.
do I need to speak now because I do talk over. I got a thing of not knowing. Apparently, I say I talk and I don't know when it's my turn. I get told that by family. So yeah, I need to know to wait my turn, let other people speak, don't jump into their mouths. But
Right,
yeah, girls, I was 51 when I got diagnosed. My daughter's been is diagnosed with autism now. um it's with the visual aids because they're like say the spectrum is so wide. You can be on the severe, it really is a wide thing. You really don't know from person to person.
right,
But say like with my youngest son Travis, we had the main trouble was toilet training. Just couldn't do it, couldn't, so it ended up we put visual aids on the door, and it was a step-to-step guide of how to go to the toilet, but like put your trousers down, and then it, and then he's fine.
right,
We had it in Spider-Man, all the like step
right,
by step what to do: wash your hands, dry your hands,
right.
just on the door. No one knows it was there,
Now,
and
I'm not trying to be nosy, and I'm not a doctor, but how old is he now?
He's now 12, but he
Oh,
was
so
6 when I.
he's still young like mine.
Yeah, but he was. All of mine had trouble with toilet training. To be honest with you, it was so hard. I mean, but for me, because I had no idea, I had autism. I was so concentrated on my son. I knew there was difference, and I don't know if it was using me because I felt the same.
Right.
It's like with certain sayings can, because I remember once I said to Ben, only because thing is, I was brought up, they don't believe in autism. ADHD was classed as a naughty child at school, you know. I'm gonna see and then I forget what I'm saying again.
You're fine, honey. You're good. You know how I am, and we don't judge here. So you just do your thing,
No, I
girl.
know.
We're listening. We're
It,
listening.
it's just like, my mum, they didn't really believe in it. They just like, because with my eldest, I used to say, I think there's something wrong. He doesn't understand the way he's being taught. You've got a whole class, and just because, I mean, you think you've got a class of 28 children, and they're all got taught at the same time. You all, a lot of children can do it, but with autism, he never understood the way it was being taught. He said, I don't know why I go. He said, Mum, I don't learn nothing. I don't understand the way they're teaching me. I don't understand the way they are doing it. So when I went into the school, yeah, but he's no trouble. He just sits there. He's quiet. He doesn't cause no fuss. But then, yeah, but he's not. But and that's what it got. They would look after the ADHD kids more because they're the ones that would disrupt the class. So they would get taken out and get sorted. But the ones that are quiet didn't get noticed
Right,
because
exactly. It's
he
kind of
wouldn't
like
put his hand
they're
up and
pushed under
ask.
the rug because it's like, okay, well, I don't hear them, so they're kind of like out of sight, out of
Yeah,
mind.
they say he won't ask for help.
Hey,
No,
Ghost Devil.
no, they won't ask for help. I don't ask for help. I never ask anyone for help. I do things myself. Do everything myself. Um, Only because I probably don't know how to ask for help.
Right,
I've
right,
never. I've had to do everything myself. I've taught myself. I studied autism. And I was going, that's definitely my son. I mean, all my children are autistic. But the more I was looking into it, I thought, God, that's me. And like I would get so, like I said to you in a messenger, my dad, he would put, when he shouted, his face was like, it looked really, really funny to me when he would shout at me, and I would get into more trouble because I'm laughing at the expression of his
right,
face, not him shouting at me.
right,
And
right,
like, or like another thing, this is, I didn't like looking in, like the eye contact.
right,
I'm not really a great one for looking into the eyes. I just don't like it.
right.
But my dad would go, look me in the eyes. You look me in the eyes, and you're like, and you think, oh, and,
Like, I don't know now. I don't know about
and
that.
that's scary. And but the sayings are scary because, well, one time I said to only because my dad would say it to me all the time, come on, Ben, pull your socks up. He go, well, they are up. Because we take it literally, but I'm only copying what my dad used to say. I mean, things like looks could kill can really upset. Because I believed most of these the sayings that my dad said to me. The one that says, if you go out in the wind and you do your face, you're going to stay like it. I actually went out in the wind, did it. I thought my face was going to change.
So y'all, I mean, people, I mean, like y'all really do when what the information I covered when y'all it says basically you take things to heart, like really
Yeah,
serious, you really do.
that's it. And
And you
we,
don't mean to, it's just a part of who you are.
it's exactly, and then I need to have, it's probably in my avatar thing I have, if you want me to do something, you need to tell me because I can't guess. I
Right,
can't read
right,
your mind. I can't tell by your face. I said to you, I can tell if someone's facial expressions aren't matching their voice. I can
right,
see that because that's obvious to me but because I've studied so many people to how to act, and as that's never been said. I don't often make talk about how I am, you know, my autism, but I studied a lot of people and went trying to teach myself social because I don't have friends. I have friends on Messenger on
Right.
YouTube,
Right.
but I never had any friends at school. I had one friend, but we're no longer friends now. But I like to keep to just one friend. I don't like a big group of people. I
Right.
can't take.
Right.
I can get overwhelmed, and I will just. My brain will just freeze up, and I won't know what to say.
Right.
I just get stuck. So then I can say, and it says I do like my own company. You know, I can go into my own world. I'm quite happy in my own world. I can shut everyone out who I want to. If I need to just bring myself back down to earth, because I can get quite hyper, I can get overwhelmed, I can take things the wrong way, you know. I mean, but I'm still learning myself. With when I say things are clicking to me much more than what they were, because now I definitely know that I am.
Right.
Um,
Because you're like,
it
what's
all,
going on with me? I don't know. And then now
but
that
it
you're
all clicks
okay,
into
it makes
place
more sense.
because I felt so I knew I was different, you know, and I thought, well, how can people talk so you know, like drama? I
Right.
didn't do
Mm-mm.
drama at school.
Mm-mm.
What's no?
No, no, no.
I can't do drama. I would panic. I would have a panic attack if they wanted. I wouldn't do it. Like I get frightened, and
Right.
I would refuse to do anything with drama.
So what exactly not because you said that all your babies have autism and
Yeah,
you have autism.
yeah.
Now what exactly can they do to help? Like I know it's not really so much medicine, but is there like coping strategies or
Well,
therapy or
with my
something like
youngest,
that?
two go to special school.
Mhm.
So they have a thing called an educational health plan, which is when you're diagnosed, you can then apply to get that extra help at school.
Kind of
So,
like
like,
an I well, down here it's called an IEP.
yeah, we get an IEP before you would get this. That would be done anyway, the IEP. But
Oh, okay. Okay.
that's probably just the normal thing you would get an IEP. But
Okay.
it can go beyond that. You would then get a statement if you're diagnosed, you can apply to get this help. So my daughter gets a 1-to-1 at school, so they're always with her because you know she can just walk out the door and go out near the road. She
Oh,
hasn't got
bless
that.
her heart.
She needs to have someone with her. And as for my youngest son, he loves it. He's in an all boys school, no
Oh,
girls, loves it. He's really blossomed there.
that's
You
good.
know,
That's good.
a lot of it's visual aids, 1-to-1, therapy with talking. He had speech therapy. That's
Mhm.
very good because he's got minimal. Um, he wouldn't know how to explain it. See, I can't explain.
You're
He
fine,
hasn't got.
honey. You're
He's got
good.
limited vocabulary, should I say?
Right, right,
He wouldn't be able to explain it in detail, and if you needed something done, you would have to keep it as simple as you can.
right.
You know, not like go to the drawer, it's the one under the telly, but the bottom one. I would that just you know you would have to just say because if I say the first drawer, they would go to the bottom one. See, I think,
You're
but
like,
we all
which
think.
one, Mom? I don't know. No, 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 that one. Never mind. I'm not. I'll do it myself.
But I forget sometimes, you know, and I thought, how can I, you know, and I thought, well, I know what I mean, but then to explain it to them what I mean is a different story. I think, well, how do I explain that? How do I have trouble, you know. I mean, like
Right.
I got into debt with money because of not knowing how to, you know, when I had my husband here, I was I don't know, you know, I was just like, yeah, gave him money, you know, doing all that. And then I was in too deep probably. And I didn't know how I ended up the way I did in debt.
Right.
This
Right.
is before I got diagnosed. So now I'm more aware.
Right.
I
Right.
have to think before I do things now, which is a struggle.
Because you're so you well, and you said that you have ADHD too, so your mind is like
Oh,
a
I
mile a
argue with
minute.
myself. My brain argues with myself because, like, my ADHD is like quite be hyper, and it's like no, and I to and fro my mind with the hyper. I should, because like I get told if I can say like we talk about Tina, right? I can say
Right.
something for her, and she'll message me and go, "Take it off. You can't say that. Take it off." And I do the majority of the time take it off because I can get my brain's just like so, and
Right.
I don't mean it to be horrible to anyone, but I just will just go raw and like on a mission. I'm on that mission to get my point across, at
Right.
whatever cost, And she's going, no, no. So
But the thing
now
about it is, people like I've always said, and what you've heard. I mean, like I know you watch the replay when you wake up because of the time difference. But like I've always said, you don't know what people are going through because, like, I mean, I would have never known unless you told me that you had autism and ADHD. I would have never known. And like
I
it kind
think
of makes
it's
sense, kind of because you said I just talk out of the box, and I don't mean to, but I want to get my feelings out there, and then
I
unfortunately people look at it the wrong way.
Oh, I thing is, I might go out, think, right, I need to get something off my chest. I need to say something. You can guarantee it won't come out the way that my brain's thought it. And it will come out something. And do you know how many people I've offended because I've said things the wrong way round?
Right.
But honestly, in real life, I thought, oh, I've had a friend, and all of a sudden they're gone, and I don't know why. But when I look back at things I say, I have a friend who's quite honest with me and tells me, I know what you. She knows what I mean when I get it wrong,
Right.
but it can sound very bad if it's. Do you know what I mean? I can cause uproar by saying things the wrong way round or missing out. I really do, and
Right.
it happens here with my children. It's because I'm not quite there on knowing how to say that, how I'm feeling. It
Well,
comes
like you said,
across,
you just got diagnosed what, a year, or how long have you been
yeah,
diagnosed?
January, yeah,
Okay, so you're still, I
nearly
mean,
a
you're still
year.
kind of learning yourself. I mean, you know how your babies are, but you yourself dealing with it, you're
Yeah,
like, what in the world?
I totally get my children's point of view now because I mean, at school, I just kept myself to myself. I didn't have a good big group of friends.
Yeah, I didn't either. I just stayed to
No,
myself, girl.
I mean, I was a good girl at school. I did well, but when my dad left home, I sort of just went, I'm not doing school. And I just went my own way, but I couldn't because I didn't know how to handle the emotions. That's why. And
Right.
my emotion was the behavior in refusing to go to school because I had the problems at home with my mum and dad. You know,
Right.
it can seem so exaggerated, and you could feel like sometimes I used to feel my head was going to explode, so I couldn't handle the emotions of how I was feeling, and I didn't know how to deal with that upset or angry. I had all sort of emotions, but I just didn't know how to deal with them, and that's why I felt I was always on my own when I was a child because it wasn't spoke about then. You'd be a baby if you cry. Don't cry. You don't. Told to keep everything in. So, and especially being someone that can't actually express that well, being told not to, you're like, oh, I can't keep it in, but I can't say it, and I don't know how to say it. It's hard trying to explain to people I can sometimes, but not always that great at doing it. But a lot of the time I watch
Right.
people and how people are. I can sort of tell who's genuine though. I can
Right.
tell whether someone's genuine or someone's not so genuine because I can
Right.
tell just by I'm not saying I can tell by a tone of voice, but I can tell someone's not interested in talking. I can. There's a lot of things I can tell, but then I don't know if it's just my autism doing that,
Right. Right.
because sometimes I didn't know what was real or not real. Am I really that, am I really autistic, because, but then when you go back and all the, like, the facts you read out, I mean, that's all true. It is basically just social communication. My son would just play on his own. He would line up his cars. His favourite was Thomas the Tank. And he was obsessed with that. He was a member. He got the magazines from Thomas the Tank. He had every
Oh.
single train, and they were his pride and joy. And he looked after it, and it was things like that. And I was the same. I like playing on my own.
Right.
I would have games that I play on my own. I would play patience with cards because I understood myself.
Now, so now how long have your babies, okay, you told me your son is 12. Now, how long
Mhm.
have they had, did they get diagnosed when they was babies? Like it said, like 2 years old or 2 or 3 years
Or
old?
my eldest took 6 years to get assessed to see a doctor, and then it was 6 years to get a statement. So they said he fell through the net. With my youngest, it was really, really weird because I fought for all of my children,
Right.
but when it came to Travis, I took him to the doctor for an ear infection, and he walked into the doctor's room. He walked on tiptoe, and he
Oh,
walked in on tiptoe, and said, "Do you think he's autistic?" And I went, "Oh my god, I thought that, but And I said, "Well, I did think that," and it was her that got the ball rolling. And he was diagnosed and got his EHCP before starting school,
wow.
which I know that doesn't happen very often for a doctor to, because usually you have to argue with the doctors
Right.
to get, and
It's
then
like,
you've got
I'm
a doctor.
telling you, something's wrong with my young, and you
I know,
listen,
and
listen.
I couldn't believe. I was so happy that the doctor. We went for an ear infection, and she but did an assessment for like autism.
Wow.
Because he
Now,
didn't talk, and he wasn't potty trained.
oh,
Just wouldn't talk. The speech therapy really, really helped him. Really, really helped him. So he did flourish with that, and the special school is fantastic. It's like a country mansion in the middle of nowhere. It looks like Hogwarts. It's, and he loves it. They get on the Friday, they pick their lessons, and he loves it.
that's
Absolutely
good.
loves it.
If he
So
feels comfortable, girl, I'd keep him wherever they feel comfortable at.
mainstream is a very hard place to be being autistic. Very, very hard, especially. That's what I was trying to say earlier. You're in that class of that many people, and you got no chance of learning the speed. Here they do a different subject every day, so if you miss one day, you've missed that subject.
Oh
So
gosh.
then you're behind. So when you miss it the next day because you didn't understand it, you're behind.
Oh my
So
goodness.
all of my children were well under the curriculum thing,
Right,
because of
right.
not being able to learn and not understanding the way of learning. All it is visual aids and knowing how to. I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm not an expert on that. I mean, we had visual aids everywhere in the house, though. But for a day-to-day thing, we had like or he could make his choice of what he wanted to do with the visual aid. So it does help. Visual aids are fantastic for the ones with the not so, you know, extended vocabulary, because there is some that just won't talk. My daughter's selective mutism, so she doesn't talk. But then she talks to me by text, which is
Right,
better than nothing. It's something,
right.
but that's a work in progress. We're still a work in progress, shall I say, on the.
So she won't speak at all, like that. She won't say
She won't
mom
speak
or
when
just
she's at
simple
school.
words.
She won't speak at all at school. She just shrug, nod, and that's it. Or she can write it in a letter. She can like write down, or send a text, but she won't say it. She won't say it. So
Now, are they trying to work with her? Has she said? Have you heard
they
her say any words like at home?
they have heard her talk. this is the thing. The school. I mean, it's a very long work in progress with Charlene because she kept walking out of school.
Right.
So
That's
because like,
hard.
so now she's not walking out of school because she just does mornings at the moment, but she's hoping she can go full time after the Christmas holidays.
Right.
But she still will get up and walk out, which is the problem they have. But someone has to be with her, so they will follow her.
Right. Now
But
is her autism pretty severe, like where it said like level 1, 2, 3, but level 3 is like the highest where you have
it's
to
probably like a
have
level
more people
two.
like
It's
care
she. I
for you
mean,
and stuff like that.
see, I probably under. I mean, I probably don't rate myself. I see us all different to everyone else, but it would be rated as like a 2. With
Right.
well, I mean, thing is, with it doesn't help your mental health with autism because you can't you can't process things and you can't
Right.
absorb any sort of information, so it's very hard to. It can take me a few days to process one piece of information. You could
Right.
tell me something and I just forget about it, but then a few days later I've processed it and then I'll talk about it.
Right. Right. It's like it just got a trigger. Just got to
It
yeah.
doesn't. Don't expect anything to absorb straight away with me because it won't.
It's like just give me a few minutes.
I need time. It's say like I want my child to do, say like my second eldest. I sort of like it's like planting a seed. I sort of like mention it, but not a lot, but very briefly mention something that I would like done or give it a few days and he's doing it, but it's his idea. But I just been saying it very subtly, like about doing something, not
Right.
demanding or anything. Because with Daniel, I have to give him options. I can't give him questions because they're demands. So I have to
Right.
give Daniel options, and those options generally do work out. And then he ends up doing it, but he thinks it's his own idea, which is great, fantastic by me.
Right. Right. Right.
If it's done, it's
Whatever you can
done.
do, girl. Whatever you can do.
You have to think more. It can be, I mean, I get really drained quite quickly. I get drained, say like I had a messenger group chat thing. I get overwhelmed because I don't always want to talk.
Right.
Um and it's because I won't tell you either. I just won't want to talk and I'd be off on something else and I would just like put, I can't do with that today. But I don't tell no one. But the polite thing to do is say I don't know, because like people go, "Oh, you're right." Then yeah, I'm zoning out. I didn't want to talk, but
Right.
and I
Right.
don't want to, and I can't always explain myself because it can seem as rude just because I said, right, I can't talk no more. Someone's overwhelmed. Say I'm like, I can't
Right. It's
talk
like
no
it's too
more.
much. It's too much
I
for
have to
me.
can't. If the more and see Daniel won't let it. My second eldest, if I say to him, "Oh no, Daniel, please, I can't take no more. You're overwhelming me." He'll go on and on. No, I can't take no more. Please, my brain, I can't. And then
Now,
my
our
brain,
now you've seen our little grandson, baby James. You've
yes,
seen him, haven't you? Okay, he's 7 years old now. His whole entire life, me and Rebel has been with him his whole entire life, and I actually cut his cord because.
oh,
So I'm really, really attached. He calls me Nana, even though I'm not his bud Nana. I'm still his Nana.
yeah,
Okay. Now, for the longest time, this is what they have not diagnosed him with autism, but he did not get fully potty. Okay, he's 7 years old now. He did not get fully potty trained until we got full custody of him
yeah,
last year.
right, yeah,
So he was about 6, give or
yeah.
take,
Same as
5.5,
Travis, yeah.
6. And you can see him. He's kind of there. He is. He's
Hello.
gonna sleep around the corner.
Okay.
James, you better go to sleep. I love you. Go to sleep.
What sleep?
Go
Mine
sleep.
never slept. None of my children slept. Honest to God, because with my eldest, I think that might be a thing with autism. I don't know, but with my eldest, I said I can't get to sleep. He won't sleep. He just, and someone said like put a chair in the room, then each couple of nights move that chair back so he knows you're there. Anyway, it
Right.
ended up with me sitting with this chair outside in the hallway, and he'd go, I know you're there. I know you're there. And he wouldn't go to sleep. And they gave me something to help him sleep. It was called Finnegan.
Right.
Oh my God, it had the opposite effect. His pupils were black and he was
Oh
like a
my gosh.
madman. He was running around the house like a Tasmanian devil.
It's like,
All
go to
because
sleep already. Go to
it had
sleep.
the opposite effect to him. Oh my God. So, no.
It's like, you ain't
But
taking that no more. Forget it.
no.
I'm
So
putting that in the
the sleep was
trash.
a hard thing.
But like I was saying, he's a little guy. He's 7, and we've had, like I said, his whole life. Now, for a long time, he would not speak at all, like barely. Like if he did, it was like mumbling, and you would have no
Mm.
idea what he was saying. And
Yeah.
then now he goes to a school, and it's a regular elementary school, but he has an IEP. And last
Yeah.
year he had, let's see, from pre-K. I don't know how it works there, but from pre-K to first grade, he was in like more of a one-on-one classroom.
Yeah.
Now they have him in a regular classroom, but he still gets the extra help as
Yeah. Yeah.
needed.
Yeah.
Now he has occupational therapy to help him with like scissors, his hands, stuff like that. And then he has the speech therapy, which he's came a long way, but you still have a hard time. I mean, you can hear what he's saying, but certain words is
I
hard to
understand
get
that
out.
because
And
with
he got
Travis,
diagnosed now. He's got diagnosed with ADHD, and he has PTSD because of
yeah.
childhood trauma. But they're still trying to rule out if he is autistic or not. Even though he's talking now, he didn't when he was a baby. You couldn't get no words,
Yeah.
no words. So I don't
But
know if he is. I don't.
I
I
would,
don't know.
I mean, it's hard with the PD, if if you've got PTSD, but
Mm-hmm.
um, with the mumbling, that's what thing is. It's really you really get with Travis was exactly the same. It was a mumble, right? And people
Mm-hmm.
would come round, right? No joke, right? He'd say something, but I understood it, even
Right.
though it
Right.
weren't words.
Right.
They said, how can you can understand? And like my mum go, well, how can you? Do you heard that? Did you? I said, yeah, I know what he's saying. I said,
Right. Right.
I was in tune with him. I knew everything he was trying to say, because he wouldn't point. But if he did point, it wouldn't be at the exact thing. If he
Right.
pointed in one direction, it could be up, down, middle, bottom.
Right.
The
Somewhere in
point
that
weren't at.
vicinity.
It was it was just, you're pointing in that area. It's not how we would because if I point, if I point to try to say it's over there, and I point right at it, and he's looking everywhere.
Right. Right.
Because he's pointing, but he doesn't know you're pointing at that thing. You have to point
Right.
in that direction. That's how he sees it. So when he
Right.
points, you have to go all around that area. And I go, is it that? And he go, no. Oh,
But
you
yeah, I mean,
can't.
like that's what I was wondering about how old your babies were, because like I said, I'm not saying that he does. I mean, I'm not a doctor or nothing like that, but I'm just saying for a long time he wouldn't speak. He didn't get full blown potty trained until we got full custody of him last year. I mean, he would go to the potty, but then he would still have pull
Yeah.
ups on. It's still. I
I
mean,
mean
it
that's
happened.
that's a difficult. I mean, I mean, I just. I don't know how I don't need. I mean, I just guessed with the visual aids with my son in the end on the toilet because, and it helped him to have a game with him. So when he went to school, he was allowed to take his Nintendo and sit on the toilet because it would distract him from the
Right.
toilet. So
Right.
that was another thing that you could do if you have trouble getting your child to go to the toilet. Let them take something in they enjoy while they're sitting on the toilet, and it
Oh, he goes
takes
to the
that.
potty now, no problem. He's like, Nana, I gotta go potty. I'm like, go ahead. There he goes, this little tablet, and he's just sitting there. I'm like, okay, I'll
That's
leave
it.
you alone.
Distractions are very good to get out of meltdowns, or I have meltdowns still. I mean, I have meltdowns, and I hate them because. And I don't even know what my meltdown's over half the time. I think it's because I got just so overwhelmed by. This is the trouble with masking. With the masking, I can act just like anyone, right? I can have that conversation with you. I can talk about what you want to talk about. But come later, I'm like, take that mask off, and I'm drained. I'm like, oh,
Right. It just wears you out. Right.
it's draining. That home, you can be yourself. I am a bit of a in my own world, I must admit. I do like
That's
my own
okay,
world.
girl.
There's nothing wrong with your own world. Just get in there, try, even if you just have to, what do I like to call it? I just reassess the situation. And I have to work so hard on myself though with this, it's not easy. I mean, it's hard. Imagine being a child. I'm an adult now, but it's so hard on
Have they
children.
ever said that is work? I mean, like, I'm not saying that it's a terrible thing. You just got, I guess you have to learn how to cope and how to figure out how to stay calm and just how to do things. Now, are they saying because you were older when you got diagnosed and your babies were younger? Are they saying it's worse? For somebody that's older with it to try to control it, or is it
It
worse for somebody that's younger?
Well, the thing with me, the diagnosis was just like a relief. It told me there wasn't something wrong with me. I wasn't, I didn't do anything wrong. I never, it, that is me, the autism. So and then it all made sense. Everything like clicked into place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I've had many jobs, like with the jobs. I've been in and out of jobs. I can't even remember how many jobs I had from the age of 16 to when I had and I got a job. I got a job in the end that lasted 7 years, but I worked on my own and I was a cleaner.
Right.
Suited me fine because I love cleaning. I was on my own and I got paid for it.
Right.
So
Just like leave me alone and let me do my
yeah,
job and give me my money and
I'm
I'll be
happy
out
on
of here.
my own. I'm not I chat, I mean, I can chat to people, but it drains me because I have to put that mask on and pretend that I can chat away. Because if I was my normal self, I wouldn't probably be even talking. I'd be just like in my own world, getting on with my job.
Well, that's why I was trying to prepare you, because I've been talking to you about this live for about a month now, and you're like, I got to prepare myself. I got to prepare myself.
I've done notes. That was what I did, notes as well, and they've all gone to put. I'm going to do my notes. I am, and then it all goes. It just all goes out the window,
It's like,
and like
and those were some good notes, but what we're covering is good too.
but it was where you was talking about the statistics. I mean, those statistics say that they are bang on those statistics, but it's only because girls are harder to diagnose.
Is it
Because
because of the hormones, so they're all kind of all over the place? Maybe, I mean, I don't really know.
I mean, I think girls are more complex than boys. I might be wrong. I don't know how I'm gonna. I think we're more emotional.
Right. I mean, like, because
I
of
know men could be. I'm not
certain
saying men can't.
things.
I'm not saying men can't be emotional or anything, but perhaps I don't know because I can mask very easily.
Right.
I mean, obviously, I'm not a boy, so I don't know, but I'm assuming us girls just try to act normal,
Right.
trying to act like you're in with the people, you talk like them, you act like them, but then you get stuck if you get something the worst thing in the world at school was being told to stand up and read.
Oh gosh.
Oh my god.
It's kind of like you're sitting there naked. You're like, I
I
don't
would get
want to.
palpitations. I would start no, I can't. I'm not, like, because you'd have to, as you would get like a detention,
Oh my
and
gosh.
I'd be really quiet and I would mumble, and I was
It's like, speak up. It's like, no.
so I never got asked again. But then don't ask me, because then I don't want to talk out loud. I don't want to. Why what's that going to help me in the future? Talking in the class, I mean,
Right.
I didn't understand a lot at school, to be honest. I was, I was good at vocabulary. I was good at English. I mean, I did have. I was very good at English. That's the one lesson that I enjoyed. So, which is probably a good bonus to me now, because I do know a lot of what I do. I've taught myself so much, you
Right.
know, and I've watched so many people throughout my life, and I know what all I need to know. What's got me through life is, you know, what's right and you know what's wrong, which just solves everything to me, because
Right.
that's how I deal with things in the house. If you know, and I've gone, well, was that the right thing to do, or was that the wrong thing to do? You know,
Right.
that's how I approach things, but that doesn't always work well with the outside world. You know, I hate making phone calls. I said I don't like phone calls. I don't. I will look at my phone ringing and won't answer it, because I don't know what they're going to say to me. Who is it?
Right.
It's crazy, and I get that with every phone call. My daughter going, "Aren't going to answer that." Well, I don't know who it is. Well, you won't
Is
know
it
till
kind
you
of
can get.
like anxiety in a way? Like it's like, I ain't talking to that person.
I can't,
Nope.
because I'm probably in that sort of mood. I'm probably having that. I won't be able to, I won't, you know, I'm anxious anyway before I even answer the phone, and I'm
Right.
overwhelmed even before I answer it. No, I don't know who it is on that phone, but I can't deal with talking. It could be my mum, and I won't. It isn't. This isn't just for professionals.
Right.
This
Right.
is friends, family. If I can't, if I'm having a, sometimes I just got to shut off. I
Right.
just, you know, it could be a lot going on YouTube and the real world, or saying, or I can get,
Right. Right.
we can get involved, can't we? And we, you know, we can get drawn into so many things. And I had to take a step back and regroup myself, and,
Like take
you
a
know,
breather. Right.
definitely we all need to take that breather, and we all need to shut off sometimes.
That's the
And
truth.
I love it when my brain, I can, thing is, my family, because I can zone out, right? I can sit in here and my brain's had so much from daily life, you know, and I just got to shut down. And then they want to come in and talk to me, and they go, how can you shut off, and how can you can do that and I can't? How can you can shut off and I can't? You can, because you do, you just don't know you do it.
Right. Right. Well, see,
Because I know I'm
I
doing
don't.
it.
Right.
I
You're
I
fine.
I watch it very closely with how I am as well now, you know, and how I come across. And sometimes I would go quiet for ages and
Right.
weeks. And because sometimes I can feel like, don't matter what I say, there's no way I'm going to be able to explain some things. And I would just make it sound worse than probably what it is. And it's not
Right.
worth going into, you know,
Right.
I'm hopeless at explaining. I can try, and I will try, you know, but I know I listen to myself. Well, you don't know what you're talking about.
But I think a lot of, like you were talking about the mask, I think a lot of people mask, and I'm one of them because I suffer with so much mental health, and I don't know autism. I mean, I don't. Is it considered a mental health? I'm not really for sure. Like a mental illness.
Autism isn't. It's not considered a mental health autism. There's so many arguments, because in the UK here, um, we have a big battle. Cause there's so many autistic children in the UK that are
Right.
in institutions, locked up and treated worse than prisoners, murderers.
Oh my
There was this
gosh.
one girl, Bethany. We all thought, really, she's out now, thank God. She
Oh
was
my.
in a cell, and she just had like this thing they would put the food in, and she got treated worse. Murderers would get out and exercise. Murderers would get to watch telly. And this poor
Oh my
Bethany,
God.
she was only 16. There's so many locked up. And that's why I did a group on Facebook, and we're fighting for all these autistic children to get them out of here. You know, and that will affect their mental health.
I
If you're
wonder
in an
why they do that. I mean,
institution,
like, I know it's different from the states where I'm at
no,
to where you're at, but I wonder why they do that and treat them like that.
it's money. It's private. They're an institution. It's all money, 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 medication money. I don't know how, but it's all about the money. There's been so many deaths in these places where the children have ended it because they can't take it. And we fight so hard this end. I mean, it's everywhere. I'm just saying this is in the UK as well. there's many now in institutions that are just simply children with autism that have behaved. You're gonna, like, I'm talking about the higher end of autism now, where you're like, say, not non-verbal. So your response would be fight or flight. You know what I mean? And you're gonna lash out. That doesn't
Right.
mean you're a bad person. You just can't.
No.
They don't understand why they're being treated like that, and they certainly don't deserve to be put into an institution
Oh
because they're
no.
treated as like no one can handle them, and
So they don't
it's
really get. Do they not really get the health the help
no.
that they need?
There's one boy who's actually in a prison, a proper prison,
Oh my
and he's not done
gosh.
nothing wrong.
Oh my
He's actually
gosh.
helped. It's I there's I'm so involved with it my end. I mean, I've got so many close friends that got kids in these institutions, and it's that have lost their children, and we got petitions going. We will fight for them because, like, it's like it could have been my child. It could be my children. This could, and they're not allowed to see their children in there either. They're not allowed their mobiles. No communication, and then you've got staff that are coming in that aren't, shall we say, what skeleton staff. One's from agencies, shall we say, that aren't always very nice, and they get treated badly. It's like we don't have a voice. That, imagine being non-verbal, right? But you
Right.
know what's going on. I mean,
Right.
I might
Right.
not be able to explain something, but I understand everything that's being said to me. But imagine not being able to talk and have all that done. Do you know what I mean? It is sad, and it still goes on in this day now, and I should imagine it's in America as well.
Oh, I'm
These
sure there is, but they don't. They keep things hush hush. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Oh, it don't get talked
shh.
about. It's
You
not
know what I
talked
mean?
about. I'll have to
That's
send you the one
awful.
about Bethany. Her father fought for years and years and years. The poor girl, she had PDA as well. What I said to you, pathological demand avoidance. So you throw that in, and the poor girl, she was in like I don't know, 6 foot by 6 foot cell,
Oh my
just with,
gosh.
a girl, 16 years old. Do you know what I mean? She weren't allowed no contact, phone.
Oh my
It's literally
gosh.
just take your medication, and they're just like zombies, and they medicate you up, so you're not, so you're not a problem.
Right.
If you're sedated all the time, you ain't going to be no problem to no one.
Right. Because
And
most of the
that's,
time you're going to be asleep, or you're going to be so messed up you don't know where you're at. I mean,
I know that, but this is what it's not handled very well. There should be more. Well, don't treat them like they're a prisoner, for one. I couldn't even imagine what it would be like to not being able to talk, and your only way of communicating would be to lash out, you know
because
to
that's all they
say
know.
stop,
They're like, okay,
you know
well, if I lash out, they'll say, "Hey, I'm trying to
and
tell
then you
you,
get an
I don't
injection and
like,
get,
I don't like it." You know,
that's it. But the thing is, parents get like coerced, the parents, into signing. So, we'll, trust us, sign us. We put her in this. She'd be in there for about like 6 months,
oh
and they're
my
in there for
gosh,
years. It's not 6 months; it's years and years they're in there,
bless
and
their
like,
heart.
and I will keep fighting with my friends to get them out, because I can imagine. Well, I can't imagine, but I know what it'd be like for not being able to tell someone or speak and say, like, they wouldn't even be able to say you're hurting me or anything. Just know there's just, they wouldn't be. It's really, really sad. So autism needs to be. I mean, if it was awareness, they wouldn't be putting them in institutions. They need to be put into, like, you can get like a special school, but you can get them where they live in as well. So it's nothing that can't be put right,
Right.
instead of just throwing them in these institutions all from the money. And it is, unfortunately.
That's heartbreaking, especially when they can't speak for themselves. Most of them. So
That's
they
it.
don't they know exactly what's going on, but words don't come out. Like
That's it.
they can yell and scream, but they still people are like, well, they're just showing their asses, and so
Well,
let's
they're
give them
caused.
some
Then they're
medicine.
caused the problem, aren't they? That if you know you can't win if you don't say nothing, they just treat you whatever. And if you're doing it the only way you know how to lash out because you don't know anything else, you're seen as a problem. You can't, you're not going to cure or anything about autism, right? You're not going to cure someone looking them up all the time and treating them like that. That person needs help.
Right,
They need
absolutely.
intervention. They need it's just so sad because I can see everything happening when I feel so bad for people that with special needs, which it's what it
Right,
is, and they just get
right,
because you can't tell by looking at someone. You
absolutely.
think oh, they're okay, or they don't look like there's anything wrong with them, but it's an invisible.
That's kind of
um
like what I don't know if you watched it, but the invisible
it's
illness, what I
Yes,
covered last
it
week.
definitely is invisible, like PTSD. That's
Exactly,
invisible. You
exactly.
don't know what's going. It's like with the ADHD. It's like I've got about 100 tabs open in my head, and I'm going through each one, trying to solve each one, and or it could be just thinking loads of rubbish, just
Well, see,
like
my man, hey, Rebel, mine and Rebel's son, Tyler, he has ADHD, and then little James does, and Tyler's been diagnosed with ADHD since he was in kindergarten, and he's in 7th grade, so he's had ADHD for a long time, pretty much all his life,
yeah,
and he gets so mad at himself, like he'll get
yeah.
mad at himself, and he's like, Rah! And I'm
Oh,
like,
I
what's the
do
matter
too.
with
Oh
you? And
my.
he's like, it's I can't calm down or nothing. I'm like, sit down, take a breather. And he's like, I can't do it. He gets so mad at
Oh,
himself.
I do that. I get, yes. I get.
God,
Do you know what? I'm very accident prone. I don't know if it's to do with all. I don't really know, but so I curse myself all the time. Like I came out the toilet yesterday, right? Don't even know how. I not even know what. I went flying through. All I remember is going flying through the door.
I don't
I've
mean to
got.
laugh. I can just
I.
picture it.
I don't even know what I did. I've ripped my pajama. I've got a big hole in my knee in my pajamas. I banged my ear on the chair.
Lord
And
have
Ben's come in.
mercy.
Ben's come. What you did? I said I don't know what happened.
You must have been half asleep and tripped on something.
I don't know what. I don't know. I can't even tell you what I did. I just remember flying through like that, thinking I'm going to hurt my ear because I was. And I bruised the top of my arm, and Ben looked at me. He said, "I said, don't ask. I don't know." So I get them. I bump into things. I just think it. I blame the ADHD. I blame that I'm thinking so hyper, but my body isn't like that hyper, and I just think it. I get more stress with the ADHD than I think with the autism could ever do for me because of how it makes my brain go so fast, and I can understand getting that frustration. But with anything that I can't do something because I can't, I get so annoyed that I can't do something simple sometimes, and
Right.
I think I'm too hard on myself, and but I can understand that. And my daughter is, I must admit, Charlene, she knows when I'm getting overwhelmed. I don't know how, but she's sort of in tune with me, and
Right.
she calms me down. She goes, right, mum, yeah, do that. Come sit down, mum. No, you're sitting down, mum.
She's like a mama hen. Come on, I'll be the
Yeah,
mama for a few
because
minutes.
I'm running around like a headless chicken going, I can't do nothing right. Nothing's going right. Everything goes wrong. I keep falling over. I keep walking into the door.
Like all kinds of junk's going on, Lord.
And the whole lot will come out. Do you know what I mean? And she goes, right, you're just overthinking. And but you do over. I mean, I do overthink a lot as well. But yeah, it's nice that my daughter's in tune with me because you feel you're misunderstood in a lot of ways. My mum does not understand. She doesn't understand. I tried to explain, um, but I just know she doesn't understand. And I used to think, God, if I can't get my mum or dad to have awareness on autism. What hope, and then you think, what hope have you got if you can't get your own bloody family to
I
sort
mean,
of.
I'm going to do as much as I possibly can if I can. Every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. Rebel said that. He's told me this before, like, because of course he's older than me, and he said it back in the day when I was growing up, it wasn't ADHD; it was getting your ass whooped.
It was exactly. It was in school. I mean,
He
like,
said you never heard of ADHD; you just got your hind end whooped.
it was classed as a naughty. You were classed as a naughty child, a disruptive child, because like you see the ADHD child running around the classroom, cause,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's it. You're a naughty child. You'll get sent out, and you have to sit outside the headmistress' office because you're classed as naughty. It was no such thing as ADHD. No,
Right.
it's just plain naughty.
You
My dad
just get
goes,
a
I'm not having
paddling, and
it.
that's it.
People that just, my dad go, they're just diagnosing everyone now just to make an excuse for the kids being unruly.
That's what Tim said. Tim said back in the day, because he was raised in the 80s, and I was born
Yeah,
in the 80s. And he said back in the day, it wasn't no ADHD or none of this stuff. It'll whoop that child's
it
ass.
was. Speak when you're spoken to. Do you know what I mean? You look me in the eyes. It was all the things that go against the autism. You had to, do you know what I mean? Because it
Mhm.
wasn't even talked about then. It
Right.
wasn't talked
You're like,
about
what's
autism.
autism? You didn't even know what it was. Like, and ADHD, that was just like, okay, whatever. Like, it's.
You're just classed as quiet. I was just always classed as quiet,
Mhm.
and when I did, and I got classed as easily led. But I classed that easy led as copying, and I'm following people to see how I had to see how people were talking, because I didn't know how to answer many things. So my answers were probably copies of what other people were doing in a mixture, not just one, but I'm copying all these people how to react. And then I go, right, what one's going to choose that one with the best way to react to that? I have to think and answer, whereas people will just answer it. And I'm
Right.
thinking, how do I answer that one? Sometimes I don't know how to answer a question,
Right.
and that's a tough one. If I don't know how to answer, I go, well, I don't know. I just don't know.
That's what I said, like I suffer with a lot of mental and like PTSD and stuff like that, stuff that you can't see, like we was just talking about. And I mask it well because a lot of people are like, they'll come up to me and they're like, Becca, you don't seem like somebody that suffers with all that. And I'm like, y'all have no idea.
It's like that.
I'm a friendly person. I never meet a stranger. But when it gets all quiet and your mind's wandering, that's when the demons come out to play, and it's not pretty. You can ask Grandpa. He's like, "What the hell's the matter with you?" I'm like, "Just, I
Well,
don't
that's
know."
because, well, say like now, because you will understand that you are masking, because you put that face on before. Say like, well, I'm just imagining now, say like I was gonna go on live. Say, all right, I've got to put my face on. But when we say we're putting our face on, usually mean makeup, another girl, But
Exactly.
I'm putting my face on because I need to mask this and get through it. I can smile. I'm fine, absolutely hunky dory. I'm the
Right.
best I've ever been in the world, and that be not true.
And then the
It's
demons come out to play and haunt you.
yeah.
I know, girl. I know the feel. I know.
The masking is so,
Rebels
I
like,
don't.
yeah. People
People
are
don't
like,
realize how draining masking is. It
and that's
drains
why it's
the.
so hard for me to get disability because I'm so used to not showing it, and keeping things bottled up and just kind of dealing with it on my own. And it's hard to do that. That's why they keep on denying me, because they say that exaggerating on what happened. I'm
Oh.
like, how can you exaggerate on what happened to me? That's not an exaggeration. That's real life.
See, they need to. I think what would help with awareness a lot of the times. I mean, I know it's hard to tell someone's masking because we can be very good at it. I think we become experts at masking more than we want to be. And it's hard. It's hard and it's draining, and I can do it, I can go on for ages and do it and mask and be happy and jolly and make, laugh and all that. But that's all it is. And at the end of the day, you're taking that mask off. You're not that person no more. because that person fits in with that person fits in with normality. When I say, yeah, I'm fine, nothing wrong with me,
Well, I'm one of those type of person. If people check on me and I'm like, I'm good, but and then well, you've seen it. I'm like, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm stressed up, but I'm good. And then I'm like, so how are you doing? Because I'm not the type of person to say my issues. I don't like to talk about myself. I like to worry. I worry about everybody else.
That's it,
You've seen that.
exactly.
You've seen that
And that's even
firsthand.
more draining.
Girl, you see it firsthand.
You're just draining yourself to the crisp.
But I'm like, hey girl, how you doing? You're like, good, how are you? I'm like, I'm okay, but how are you doing? You ain't gonna hear no more.
Because I always do, because I must admit, I learnt a lot through messaging as well, because I wouldn't ask half the things I ask probably than what I would in a normal conversation. But I know, but I do notice I get asked a lot, oh, how are you? And like, all right, okay, but
I'm
and then
okay, I guess.
and then it's normal to ask back, and I think, I don't know why I'm asking it back, because I didn't want to answer mine anyway. What am I supposed to do? No, I'm not. Can you imagine if you go, how are you? No, I'm not.
I'm not good at all. They're like, what?
No, I'm not happy. I don't want to talk. If you said that in your real zone, when you just don't want to talk, I can be seen as rude. I've been called rude, not meaning to be.
People would take it the wrong way, and you're not meaning to me. It's just like, I'm not.
There's only so much you can. If you're having a go at me, right? If you're having a go at me, right, I'm going to shut off. I'm not going to be able to absorb all that stuff in.
Right.
It's too much for me. So I would listen to a bit of it and then go, right, I'm shutting off from that. I can't. That's just. I have to shut off. I feel like when you can shut your brain off, it protects your brain. It protects you against. That's how I've learned
all the negativity.
I think that's my coping mechanism. I can shut my brain off easy. I could just now go and zone out, and I'd be just like that with Wave of the Fairies, and like my kids get annoyed with me that I can do that. And I go, well, learn yourself. You don't just get it. It doesn't come to you. I'm 51 now. I've had loads of years of researching, thinking. Do you know what I used to always say to my dad, because my dad's crazy, right? I said, I'm sure you've got ADHD, Dad. I'm sure. I always went around saying my dad had ADHD because he was like a manic man. And then I've got it. And I thought, how ironic.
Now, are they saying that is hereditary, like autism and ADHD? Is that hereditary or no?
Well, think what I thought it was, because considering all my children have autism, I got diagnosed with my autism in January by a Professor Fox, and he said to me that it wasn't genetic. But I don't know if I disagree. I personally, my own instincts, I feel it's genetic. I'm no doctor. I mean, he's a professor. I could argue with the professor.
Well, I mean, if you just think about it, all your babies have autism, all of them.
Yeah, all of them.
And then you recently got diagnosed with autism.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not, I'm not a doctor either. But that doesn't really make any sense.
Doesn't it? That shows me it's genetic. That's what it shows me.
Now, is there, I'm not trying to be nosy. Is there daddy autism or ADHD?
No.
Not that you know of?
There's none of that in the family, because I know with my, obviously with my firstborn, he's not like the other children, like he wouldn't be, say, like when I suppose you go to see your nan, and the kids run up to their nan, they hug them and they kiss them. Right. You wouldn't get that with Ben. There'd be no hugs, kisses, you'd be lucky to get like a hello, and he'd rather go and play on his own. And they took it the wrong, they would take it that he didn't love them. Right. I'm going, no, you're taking this all out the wrong way.
He's just not a
That's
very affectionate person. Right.
yeah, but then people take it offense to it. Family, a lot of family. He's not very affectionate. He doesn't. Well, I don't get hugs. My daughter doesn't hug. My daughter, I would say, out of all my 4 children, my eldest is the only one that will hug me and say he loves me. None of my other children like hugging. They don't like me putting my arm on them. I think it's sensitive. The My youngest is so sensitive to touch. You can't have labels sticking out.
Oh
They
gosh.
scratch him. He doesn't like wearing long sleeves. He only likes t-shirts, and he only wear jogging bottoms. He wouldn't wear jeans or anything else. There's
Right.
certain
He likes to be
clothes,
comfortable. He wants to be
yeah,
comfortable.
and certain foods. His diet's very limited. My youngest, he like pasta, sausage rolls, um, Yorkshire. It's very limited. He won't eat meat. He won't. He eat the outside of the sausage roll, but then sometimes he'll eat it all. It's really weird. He'd pick all
He
the
has his
pastries off of it.
moments. He has his
Yeah,
moments.
they like picking things apart, I think.
Hey, Art Go Show. Hi, sweetheart. Good to see you, honey. Hope you had a Merry Christmas. Good to see you, sweetheart. Oh, thank you, honey. I'm just trying to bring awareness and support to, because I'm learning too as we go along. I'm learning too.
I think it's harder to tell if someone has it like, I mean, I never heard of the level ones, but or the mild, you hear that a lot. They got it mildly autistic. I don't believe that. It's such a wide spectrum, but I think that's why it's so hard to diagnose, because you could be a shy child. They're
Right,
so
right,
it is hard to diagnose. Mine, for me, it was the little pointers. Like Ben would walk around on tiptoes too. That's a fair. Or he would flap his hands,
right, right.
or um, or Ben would sometimes rock. Tara does it. He rock backwards and forwards, but it's a soother. It comforts you,
Well, now,
Cause,
sometimes now, I don't know. I've noticed James, he'll pull his shirt up and
but
he'll
yes,
gnaw on it.
all mine do that.
Mm.
Bite the cuff on their sleeve.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes, he does it
Travis
too.
does.
Not as much as he used to, but he
Ben
does
did
does it.
that.
And I'm like, James, honey, what are you doing? And he just it's soaked right here and it's soaked right here.
No, what it is with Ben did that, and it is more a young thing to do. He grew. I must admit, Ben grew out of that, but he did do that. But that was probably I don't. It could be his routine of doing that. That makes him feel. You'd be surprised what little things bring comfort to soothe you. Like I play with my hair,
Right.
because that and like I have to play things, and I sit with my legs going all everywhere. It's like can't keep still. One leg goes and one leg doesn't.
Right. Right.
But there's so many symptoms in diagnosing, but you just got to look out for those little things like, how does he walk the tiptoes? Does he do stimming can be like turning in circles, keep repeating words, or like say like a song from a TV thing, a children's thing.
Right.
Mine would sing like the theme tune to like movies, and it would be a constant. It'd be like, I don't know what they call them. Like I call them obsessions.
Right.
I've had many obsessions to make which make me feel better in myself, but to everyone else they seem as an obsession. But to me, it's a way of soothing myself. I have
Right.
to do what I feel that's going to make me feel better than
Right.
not being able to cope.
Kind of calm you down a little bit.
Because no one tells you how. It's not easy. I mean, it's easy now, but for a child, it's so hard. My son, he would literally, he wouldn't know how to say something. So we'd be in town. He'd literally lay on the pavement and just be bashing his feet about, because he didn't.
Oh, like a
Because I was,
tantrum. Like a
yeah. But
tantrum.
what I didn't know, I was trying to get him a haircut. But what I didn't, he was frightened of the clipper noise.
Oh,
and I couldn't work out why he was always screaming, and when you realise, you feel so bad, he's like, so now now he's all right now, but he would usually, you would have to cut his hair by scissors, not the clippers,
Well,
because
now
that would,
James, like I was saying, baby James, a lot if something is too loud,
it
he'll do
cuts,
this in
yeah.
school. Now he has counseling in school, and he'll sit down and curl in a ball and just do this.
Oh, I would say definitely
It's too
autism. And
loud.
you got ear, he can, they you can get ear defenders for them, so which blocks out, a lot of kids wear ear defenders to school, um, especially in like noisy subjects. You were seeing with the headphones on, so it blocks out a lot of that noise, because it can
Right,
be painful. You'd be, things can, what might seem so normal to other people can hurt. I can get like that with noise. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, what's that doing? And it can go
right,
right in me, and it causes stress.
right.
And
Oh,
that's
hi,
because you
Phoenix
can't cope.
Rising. Good to see you, sweetheart. She said, OCD like characteristics used to self soothe.
Yes, so yeah, I think we all have to work out ways to self-soothe. It's a hard thing to do, but it's
Oh, Kenzie C said because she said that her little boy was too young to diagnose, and she said, "Yes, my son hates haircuts. He will scream at the
yeah,
top of his lungs, and my son covers his ears, also hums and rocks."
yeah. You but all because of the I mean, I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know then. I was just trying to get his haircut. This is the
Right,
things I've learned so much throughout the journey, because Daniel didn't like clippers too, and nor did Travis. They didn't like the noisy clippers around them. So Travis prefers the scissors. He doesn't like the clippers, which, it's quite loud. I mean, I've never had clippers on me, but
right, right.
they
I
seem
mean, it's
quite
loud as soon
loud.
as you turn it on, right?
You can imagine that by your ear, that can be
Oh
quite
my
loud and
gosh,
frightening. They think, what the hell are you going to do to me? You're going to take my ear off or something
right?
with
Because
him.
especially when you get closer, you're like, ah.
So sensitive. So he's obviously sensitive to sounds, which, I would recommend ear defenders for things like that, because it can be painful for them, for them to, because Travis does that with his ears, and he's much better with headphones on than not headphones on,
Right.
which,
Little James is the same way, but they haven't diagnosed him with that yet.
oh,
I don't
well,
know. I don't know. But bless his heart, he's been through, he's been through the ringer, and so he has PTSD, but he also has separation anxiety really, really bad, real
yeah,
bad,
yeah,
real
yeah,
bad.
yeah, that's a horrible thing to have, that one. I mean, it's all, we've got to realize though, you can have, what you got to realize, it sounds like his symptoms are autism, but you got to remember, mental health has nothing to do with autism. That's just
Right,
going to exaggerate. Just because, he will have PTSD, it doesn't rule out autism. It will just make it harder for him to handle that emotion,
right,
because he will get to a stage, he's going to, when they're really young, it's not so bad. But when they get older, I had so many tantrums of looking themselves in the bathroom, rocking themselves under the quilt, because they couldn't deal. But I didn't always know what had happened to make that happen.
right,
So, and if they can't tell you, then you're like, because you need to know the triggers
right.
for what, there's loads of triggers, I think, for autism, like, especially like, the sarcasm and the sayings that we have, that just
Or
seem
I mean,
shocking now.
they were talking. I mean, even at school, they were like, I noticed he has covered his ears, and that could be a sign of autism. But I don't think they have done any, any tests. I don't really know what it consists of. How do you determine? I
I
don't
tell
know.
you, what I do, not a bit late today, I've got Ben, my eldest, I've got his diagnosis, and I've actually got all the questions they asked. So if I get that, I'll send it to you, and you can see all what was asked, and the
Okay,
scoring way, and get a sort of, like, I think that will give you an insight into if he is or not. because you would know the answers to these questions because
Right, right.
So what I do, I send that to you, and then you can go through that and see if it rings a bell with anything, and it'd be like, when they talked, do they like playing on their own? Do they have any odd movements like the flapping, spinning, rocking? It could be Charlene's is doing her bones on her knuckles.
Right.
She does that a lot when she's anxious. It's horrible. I hate it. I can't even make my knuckles click, but she gets really anxious, and she sits there literally just clicking her knuckles.
She's probably like going vroom,
Yeah,
vroom.
just that. She does it out of. I'm watching her do it. I said, "You're stressed out, then, are you?" So we can tell, because I know she does it when she's stressed out, and they know when I'm stressed out, which is good. When you get into tune with how they are, then you're on the right path. So I would definitely look more closely at James, and I would definitely send you all the questions that were asked,
Now,
and
is
then
it
you
the
can
same
go.
assessment like you had? Is the same as what
Yeah,
your children had?
yeah.
So it's
I
not
can
any
I
different,
I can get.
even though you're an adult and they're children.
Yeah,
It's the
it's the
same thing.
same. It's the same thing, because like I will have I do stimming, but my stimmings will be different. I can rock backwards and forwards, or my leg would just go, and I don't even
Right,
know my leg's moving. Or I'd be a lot of things you're not going to notice until you start taking notice of what you're doing. And like I've caught myself flapping my hands,
right.
and before I wouldn't notice that. So you really need to watch what your body's doing, and how, I mean, it's hard I think it's harder when they're young, to be honest with you, because they can't tell you a lot of the things. So these questionnaires are a good way of getting to the bottom of it, and it's not just one, there's many. I'd get all the questionnaires together for you, and I'll send them to you,
I
because I've got
appreciate
many.
it.
Yeah, I've got all the
Kiki.
questionnaires, and for ADHD.
Oh, that's fine. And Kenzie said, "Thanks. I will try and get him something for his ears, like muffs or something
Yeah,
like
just
that
ear
for her little boy."
defenders, basically. Yeah, I mean, it works a treat. Though there's so many kids wear these ear defenders now, like out at play, or you see them when they go to music concerts, don't you? Why should a child not go just because they've got
Right,
sensitive
because
ears?
it's
Because you can
really
still
loud.
hear it. It
Right,
just helps with that. It really does help them with the noise, and not
right.
to go right inside your head.
That's gotta be I mean, that really has to be some kind of trigger because, like I said, the school was saying that he did it all the time, especially like in gym. It's real loud in gym class and
It's a
basketballs
good
and
giveaway
everything.
sign, because you're going to see those kids holding their ears, because they're holding out the noise. They're trying to stop that noise hurting them.
Right.
So, it's only because it's the sensitivity. I mean, do you know, like, say with my youngest, I mean, he's like a beanpole, but he's so sensitive to touches. You could just say, like, brush past him, or not, just knocked him slightly, it would hurt him.
Right.
That's his that's how he reacts to the touch. It's
Oh
the
gosh.
sensitivity, with voice, smell, touch, anything. I mean, I get sensitive to many things, but I can walk away. you
Right.
can't always you can't always
Right.
walk away, can you?
No.
Walk
Well,
away, I
thank
don't
you
want to
so
do it.
much for coming up here, my darling.
That's
Thank you
fine.
so much. I appreciate you so much. I know it's a big time difference,
Oh,
but maybe you can go back to sleep.
I've got, well, it's bin day today, so in about an hour I'll be taking the bins out.
What is it? About almost 6 your time? Is that about what
It's
it is?
nearly 20 to 6, yes.
It's
So
what?
20 to 6 in the morning.
But your time is now. Do y'all do military time, or y'all do it like we do, where
Five
the
I
hour and the minute, or y'all's it backwards?
5:36. Would you now you're confused.
Okay, like it says 12:36 a.m. Is that
Yeah,
what's like?
mine's 5:36 a.m.
Okay, so it's the
Yeah.
same. Well, I know what when you sometimes when you send me a screenshot or something, it shows like military time, and I'm like,
Oh,
huh?
what do you mean, like the 13?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Oh, I know. See, in the front room, I've got a learning teaching clock because they have. That's another thing. They struggle with time. None
Oh,
of my kids are very good at time. They'll ask me what the time is, even though I've got a teaching clock on the wall. And I go, well, read the clock. Yeah, but it doesn't say it how I say it. And I think, oh, yeah, yeah.
it's
Another
like
one
look at
is
the big
time.
hand and the little hand.
They just don't get it. They just don't get it.
But yeah,
But
that's why
yeah, it's the
I was like, is your time the same as? I mean, I know it's the same time, but I didn't know if y'all actually did it like military time or like the time we do. Is what I meant.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Because now
my
on your phone is military time.
I think you can change it to be 24-hour or 12-hour. So it's like, but I'm so used, I mean, my kids don't understand it that way, 14, 15. They don't understand that at all.
Oh,
They stick to the normal, just 1 to 12.
but you're
So
used to
I
the
have to say,
14, 15,
I
24,
can't
all
say
that.
that to them. They won't understand it. What's 15? And then I'm going 12. And then I'm counting through it. And let me double check. 17. Let me
It's like, let
check.
me make sure.
I start from the 12, then I work myself forward. Then, it's 5 o'clock. That's what it is.
Lord have
Oh,
mercy.
don't. God, I know, it's hard work. What day is it, Mum? They don't know what day. They have trouble with days and times as well, I've noticed. Mind you, I do.
Right.
I stay on the same day for about a week.
Girl,
I'm
if they
happy.
come over to the States, they'd be all confused. Lord have mercy.
I know.
They'd be 5 hours behind and a day behind. And so
Oh,
would you.
don't.
You'd be like, I don't know what time it is. I don't even know what day it is.
I know. I talked to my friends. I've got a friend that lives in Australia. And she's 9 hours in front of me. I mean, wow. Do you know what I mean? And my daughter was so upset. She's going to have Christmas Day before us, Mum. I think can't do nothing about that, I'm afraid.
It's like I can't. Well, that we have some, Ghost Devlin, Rocket
Yeah.
Queen, and Digger Duck. They come in here, and they're in Australia. They're our Aussie fam, and they're like 15 hours ahead of my time. So they're about 9 or 10 hours ahead of you,
Oh,
and I'm like, oh my Lord
I
have mercy.
know. It blows my mind all the time. See, I struggle with all that. I think, how does that work? And I get amazed by a lot of facts. I'm a bit of a geek,
Right? It's
really.
cool though, but it's like, good Lord have mercy.
But I'm forever
Jeez.
researching everything. That's how I know everything. So I don't really know everything. I research it and know.
Yeah, because they're like, if you just researched Australia from where I'm at, it's like 10 to 15,000 miles. I'm like, holy moly,
I
that's a lot.
know. It's a lot.
That's
Very.
a lot. And I think from me to you is not nearly as much, but it's still a lot.
I know. I'm like, I never knew this happened. I just
And we
got
got
on
so
YouTube
many.
and then I realised there's so many time differences.
It's like, yeah, I try to tell them, I'm like, y'all need to live closer. Lord have mercy. Jeez.
Yeah,
You on the
you need to
other
sleep the
side of
same
the
time I
world.
sleep. Oh
Oh
dear,
my
don't.
gosh. And you're what? You're okay. So I'm trying to figure out where UK is. So you're above Canada?
I'm opposite France.
Okay, I'm trying to think.
France is
Are you
literally,
you're in England, correct?
we've got the English Channel, yeah, England, and then
England.
the English Channel is between me and France.
So you're
Because
still a little bit of a ways away.
yeah, I mean, going right up to Scotland, you're more closer to probably Norway. It's just across the water, but yeah. So we've got Norway, which is at the top to the left of Scotland, and then where I am down in West Sussex, we're opposite like to France. So it doesn't take hardly anything to get to France, or
Wow.
the Euro, the train thing takes
You
about,
go over there and get you some romance, honey.
yes. Don't have anyone put up with me. They all like go, oh, she's crazy.
You go see the Eiffel Tower and get you a wee wee.
Oh, I love to go to the Eiffel Tower. Mind you, I'm scared of heights. I'd be hopeless.
Well, you know, they say Paris, France is all romance, so.
Well, do we need to speak the lingo? That's the thing. I can't speak French.
It's like I'm good with my own English, so yeah.
I say I struggle with English. I said I can't even talk proper English, let alone any other language.
Now yours is considered English, isn't it? Well, like it's British, but it's more English.
Yes, English. That's like my first on the forms that you fill out. What's it? Yes, English is my main language, whatever they want to call it. So yeah, that's it.
So it's like what is it, like British English? Is that what it is?
British English, yeah.
And I'm the Southern English girl.
They say they say English is one of the hardest.
Oh God! Look, Rebel's on the roll. Look at him. Which you did you?
Which you did
you?
Oh my God, that word! I can't even say it.
Which you did you?
Which you did you? No, don't. I can't say I have a trouble with pronouncing.
Especially, girl, you hang around us more, you're gonna have some Southern slang, and people are gonna look at you. Where in the world did you learn that from? I learned it from my English friends.
I'm walking around going, dang it, dang, and I don't know why I say it, but.
Oh Lord, he said, man, there's a lot of people not in here. Mayonnaise. There's a lot of people not in here.
Mayonnaise. No, I understand that. Oh dear, God, make myself cough.
Oh my gosh. Have you ever seen Jeff Foxworthy, the comedian, with Larry the Cable Guy? Girl, you're going to have to look them up. They are funny as all get out. You be rolling.
I like the Impractical Jokers. They're American, aren't they? Love them.
Oh, we love them. They're awesome too.
Oh, they're funny as Larry.
And he goes running through the grocery store, and they're like, "Who's Larry?" And he's like, "I don't know, Larry."
Oh, I love it. I was watching it the other day.
Joe was my favorite. He was my favorite.
See, that's what you need. I like things that make me laugh.
Absolutely.
You need it, don't you? And they're hilarious.
Laughter is the best. It just makes you feel good. And music, it makes you feel good.
Because I've just been watching comedies throughout Christmas, because I do, I like to be made to laugh. I like it if, I make myself laugh, so I'm quite easy, but I like just to have a laugh, and it just gets, just for a little while, just to, forget all the
spirits. It makes you feel a little bit better. Even if it's just for a minute. Mama Pia, good to see you, sweetheart. So we so redneck. We mowed our yard last week and found 2 cars and a motorcycle.
That'd be mine.
Oh my Lord.
You need to go and mow everyone's lawn. You might get more.
I know. Like, where did these come from?
Become a gardener. Then you'd be able to get all these motorcycles.
Well, we can only hope it's a Harley motorcycle.
Of course.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh, Dave.
Lord have mercy. When Rebel gets on a roll, that's it. That's all she wrote. Oh Lord. And when I get off Lord, he's comical.
That's what you need, isn't it? Hey. It's the best thing for anyone, bit of laughter instead of all this grumpy and, it's all we need. Everyone's just so serious lately, I mean.
It's like, Lord, might as well, just take some jokes and just laugh. It makes you feel, girl, if you did not watch, I don't know if you got a chance to or not, but if you have not got a chance and you get a chance to, go watch the live that me and Rebel and the babies went to go see the Christmas lights.
All
You
right.
are going. You make sure you sit down because you're going to be rolling in your seat. It is
I will.
hilarious. The people were I was laughing so hard that people were laughing because I was laughing so
Oh,
hard.
no, I love that. That's when it gets to a point when you're laughing at someone else's laugh. And the more they laugh, I love that. I love it if I laugh at someone's laugh. There's
Becca
some
and my
people's
mom
laughs
could
that are
cuss.
hilarious.
Becca and my mom could cuss a state trooper out and not drop ashes off her sick. Yep, pretty much. Tell state trooper to kiss your ass without dropping the Marlboro out of your mouth.
Oh dear.
Yes, I did, Mama P, and that looks amazing. I'm gonna have to make it one day. Whitefish dessert. That sounds good. But thank you so much, Maria.
That's
Honey. Thank you
okay.
for coming up.
It's
We'll
nice.
have to do it again soon. Like I said,
It
you
wasn't as
just let
bad
me.
as what I thought.
Yeah, you just let me know when they have another break because I know the time changes.
Well, every 6 weeks you're guaranteed a week off school. Every 6
Well, you
weeks.
just let me know, and then we'll
I
have
will.
another.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
Yeah.
and you know
All
you're
right.
always welcome up here, girlfriend. You know.
Okay. Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. I love you, girl. Have
Right,
a good
bye.
one. Love
Bye.
ya.
Love you. Bye.
See
Oh, I've got
ya.
to get out of here now. So I'm.
Thank you, God. Oh, hell no. Oh, Lord, look at him. Oh, my goodness. Rebel's on a mo. Or on a mo. Lord have mercy. He's on a roll, guys. I said he's on a mo. Lord have mercy. I'm telling you. Oh, my gosh. Oh my goodness. So thank you guys so much for coming in here, hanging out with us. Hopefully, the information that we brought, has helped somebody and brings support to more things and awareness to autism because, I've learned a lot and hopefully you guys have too. And, please share this out everywhere. We need to bring more awareness and support to any kind of topic, but just please share this out. Get it out there. Oh, you're welcome, Maria G. I love you, honey. No, I'm talking. Oh, Rebel said no. I'm talking about every 6 weeks get a week off. He said, "Oh hell no." Well, that's how they do it in the UK, honey. Maria J said, "Come on my lawn." Oh my Lord. Oh my gosh, y'all are a hoot. I know. I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas and New Year's Eve's coming up. Oh my goodness gracious. Ah, absolutely, Maria G, honey. Autism awareness. And that's what we was trying to do tonight. I'm sure this won't be the only time we have an autism awareness live, but this is just the first one of the many topic lives that, I want people to come up and be involved. So hopefully, the more the merrier. We want to welcome anybody that wants to come up and say anything or whatever. So hopefully this, brings a little information out there. And if people didn't know anything about it, then maybe they know a little bit more about it now. We are going absolutely. Me and Rebel's going live on his at 10:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. And I do not know what we're covering. I have no idea. So you can just make sure y'all are subbed up to Rebel because me and him always go live on every Thursday night. That's just something that me and him do together on his. So hopefully y'all come over and hang out with us. Or if Maria G's in bed, just watch the replay. No, I'm giving her a hard time. I'm just saying if y'all are not able to watch it, please watch the replay. And if y'all are not, if y'all are watching the replay on here, please leave me a comment, share, subscribe. We are covering a story. Okay. That's all he tells me. Yes. See, he leaves me in the dark about things. I don't know. But yeah, y'all just lift each other up. Be there for one another. Support one another. Be a difference in somebody's life. Don't be no better than nobody else because nobody's better than nobody. Everybody puts on their clothes the same way. you know. So, just be a be a difference in somebody's life. Be a better person than you was yesterday. Just be a difference and bring support and awareness to, whatever you can possibly bring support and awareness to. Be a positive change in people's life. Say hello to a stranger. Just anything to bring a little kindness in this world that we live in. Rebel Mama P.I. said, Rebel, did you hear about the Iowa trucker missing? But yeah, I always say this before I go. You never know what somebody's going to. So, through to be kind to one another, and be careful with your words, because they might be easily forgiven, but they're never going to be forgotten once they're said. So just try to, just try to be kind to one another. It doesn't cost a penny, not one penny, to be kind to somebody, not one penny, you know. So I love you guys. Y'all have a wonderful night. Lift each other up. Be there for one another. Support one another. Bring awareness to just bring awareness to this stuff. Please share it out. Thank you guys so much for the 702 subscribers. It truly means the world to me. It truly does. We're slowly growing, but thank you guys so much. Truly, y'all don't know how much it means to me. And I love you guys so much. And I will see you guys tomorrow night on Rebels. And like I said, please leave me a comment if you're watching the replay. Share and subscribe. And yes, please do send us some information about it, Mama P. Mama P. Lord, I can't even talk. Mama P. You're welcome, Maria G. I love you, sweetheart. I love you all. Thank you so much for coming up, Maria G. I know time's different, but thank you. I really, truly appreciate it, honey. I truly do. But I love you guys. Y'all have a wonderful night. And thank you guys again for coming in here. Make sure y'all hit the like, share, and subscribe if y'all haven't done so. And I will see you guys tomorrow at 10:30 p.m. Eastern on Rebels, where me and him go live every Thursday night. So I will love you. Lord, I love you guys. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace. And I always say this too. Don't go to bed with hate in your heart. Make sure you tell people that you love them, because you just never know. So I love you guys. Y'all have a wonderful night. See ya.